All right, YouTube, it's Outdoors with Tim. We're back again. We're outside. The storms have passed. It was just a little thunder shower first thing this morning, and we're glad that the sun's back out and I can get this garden planted. I started planting the corn, and I was afraid that it was going to be a big washout, so I stopped. And but anyway, I'm glad that I could bring y'all back on for part 2 of this backyard gardening video. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, and if you will, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Share my my videos with whoever you will, and also, if you will, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon up there in that corner there, so that way when I post a video to my channel, you will get notified. All right, well, let me tell you what I got. All right, well, I've already told you about the tiller I borrowed from my brother in Christ, David. And I told you what I'm going to be planting, which is this Golden Queen. It's a sweet corn, a really good sweet corn. I've told you all about it in part 1, how it grows real good in the Midlands of South Carolina and in the Low Country. And I'm not sure about the upstate of South Carolina because they have a different type of soil than the Midlands and the Low Country does. They have more like a clay sand type soil. Now sometimes you can find some good soil in the upstate, but I'm just telling you what works around here for me. But also in the process of planting we're going to be planting our beans and our corn, and also our, what did I say I had here? The Ashley cucumbers. We're going to be using, it's a new item. I want to thank the boys down there in Casey, South Carolina, at Ace Hardware Store for providing me with this garden seed planter by what is it? Earthway precision garden seeder. So if you haven't seen one of these in action before, we're going to put it in action today. And I'm glad that you guys have tuned in, and I can bring you along and show you how this thing works. You guys stay tuned, and thanks for watching Outdoors with Tim, and we're going to show you how to use the garden seeder to plant your garden in your backyard. All right, well, here we go. The golden corn that I talked to you guys about, and what we do is we put it in this little seed hopper right here, and we're not going to be bashful. We're just going to go ahead and put it all in there, and that way our hopper doesn't run out of seed in the process of planting. And if there's any in there, we'll just clean it out, put it back in this little bag here. We'll put this kickstand up like that, and I've got the seed dip set at 1 inch. So I'm just doing all this videoing on my own. My wife, Miss Jennifer's inside, and she's busy. So it's just us guys, YouTube. Let's do it. Good deal. Let's turn it around and try it again. All right. Well, we're going to go to row 2 in just a second. All right, guys. I tried to take y'all along on a little bit of the planting with the corn, with the Earthway garden seed planter. Had a little difficulties. I had to figure it out. You know, it's new. First time I ever used it. But anyway, we got the corn planted. We just got 5 short rows. It's better to plant your corn in small blocks because it pollinates better and it will grow to full maturity. A lot of people will only do 1 or 2 rows in their garden, and then they wonder, why is the corn only going to half maturity and then it tassels out? Well, because pollen is part of the reproductive, and I'm not a plant doctor, to sort of say, but it is hot out here, but it's beautiful weather. Thank you, Lord. but they have to be close to pollinate, and the bees help, but the wind does a lot of pollinating, when it comes to corn. So 5 short rows, plant it pretty thick. But now I'm going to bring you along, and we're going to plant 2 rows of beans. So guys, stay tuned. Let me get you in frame, and let's see what we can do. Here we go. I can hear the seed dropping. It did great. Well, let's go back up there and do it again. All right, here we go. Second row of beans. Awesome. All right, guys, we got the beans planted. That was fast. Now we got some cucumbers to do, and we also have some plants to put out here. I'll bring you along in just a minute. Y'all stay tuned. Okay guys, I'm back, and I'm not so short-winded because working in the sun and bending over and doing things that you usually not used to doing, and I drive a truck for a living, so it's not a very athletic job. It doesn't call for a lot of stamina, but anyway, we're fixing to plant the Ashley cucumbers, and I'm going to take one of these quarter rows out here. Hello, Mr. Sniffles. Mr. Sniffles in the background, and I'm not sure if you can see Mr. Ralph, but he is right there, Mr. Ralph, doing what Mr. Ralph does because he's 16 years old, and I've raised him from a puppy. But anyway, he likes to lounge around on the sunny days. So we're going to I believe we're going to try to make 4 mounds, and we're going to plant the Ashley cucumbers in the mound. And the reason why I believe to plant cucumbers in a mound is because it's such a small, thin seed. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a very thin seed, very thin. And if you plant it in a mound, the mound actually, the soil warms up quicker if the soil was mounded than if you was to plant the seed, down in the ground, sort of say, because the soil temperature below surface of the ground is actually cooler, and these seeds here need about 68-degree temperature and up for good germination. So definitely, the next 7 to 10 days is very important for these cucumbers, the seedling, to stay at a good, comfortable temperature for proper germination. So anyway, and I learned that from an old timer that told me a thing or two about planting watermelons, pumpkins, and cucumbers, and even squash. Plant them in a mound, and then just keep them watered and nurtured with nitrogen, of course, good fertilizer. So anyway, I'm gonna get over there in the garden. We're gonna make some mounds. You guys stay tuned. All right, guys, we got these mounds done. We got 4 of them, and they're about 12 to 15 inches in diameter. So a little root grass, we'll get that out of there, and we're just gonna make a nice little bowl at the top, about 1 inch deep. And we like to take about, if I don't spill them all over everywhere else, about that many, and just drop them in there. because some may not germinate and some may. So we can weed out the ones that'll end up being suckers later on. We're just going to cover them up. And that is all there is to it. That simple. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, we're back outdoors with Tim, and we've got some pre-grown, and I'm sure everybody's seen these before. You pick them up at your local home improvement store or sometimes Walmart. These came from Lowe's Home Improvement, and they're the Bonnie plants, and they seem to be pretty good. The pre-grown plants seem to be pretty good. It depends on what area you're in. You need to check your area and see if those plants do well, because there are some plants that that Bonnie puts out that just don't do well in this area. Well, not in this area, but in other areas, let's say. But this is a crookneck yellow squash. We've got looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprouts in just this one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to separate this these plants, these individual plants. That way, when we put them in the rows, we have an individual plant in its own little spot and not just grouped together like this, because you might get a good harvest out of maybe one of these if you leave them all together like that, because they'll just suck the life out of each other right now. Even with good fertilizer and nitrogen and growth supplements put to it, you may only get a handful of squash. But if you separate them, they can really focus on growing and producing and being productive as far as vegetable production. So I have I have 2 cups of them. I have 5 in this one and 4 in this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to get them in the rows out here. And what I like to do to separate these, and of course you see I've got some collards back here. Now collards is a thing of the South. Now some people don't like collards, but I will tell you right now, one of my favorite meals to have is collards and some white rice with y'all might think I'm crazy for saying this, but some chitlins, some hog guts, some white rice, jalapeno cornbread. I mean, that's where it comes from in the South, man. That's good food. But anyway, let's stay on track. We're going to take this little tab out right here. We'll set it on top of Brother David's tiller. Y'all gonna hear a lot about Brother David. Trust me, in the future I'll be taking you over to his place and showing you how he makes these knives. Now I like to save this cup right here, and I take this little cup. I usually have a garden table out here, but I like to roll. See, these roots are already starting. This thing is really maturing, so it needed to get out of here. But I like to roll it a little bit, kind of loosen up the soil here. I want to be able to pull one plant out and not break it off and completely destroy it. So that's why I do that. But these roots here are actually forming really, really well, so they're very strong. And these plants should have been transplanted at least a week ago, but been very busy here lately. So let's see how we do here. If we can get them to open up here. You definitely don't want to go in there breaking those big main roots, that's for sure, because it just puts the plant under a lot of stress. And if you can get to it like you are, see how I'm going right there, and there's a seed actually, it's still there. And just kind of break away these little roots right here till you get down to the main root, and eventually we'll be able to work it free. Just like that, guys. You guys stay tuned, because I'm going to show you what it looks like after we get them in the garden. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, guys, we're back outdoors with Tim. We're here at the garden again. I cannot express to you enough out there in YouTube world how excited I am to have all of my subscribers, each and every one of you, and the comments that you leave, and every time you give me a thumbs up. That encourages me to continue to make more videos and show you more and more what I do. But anyway, I got the yellow crookneck squash planted, and I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. I'm gonna pan out across the garden. If you'll look out there and see them little green plants. My wife just got back from the dollar store. She bought some little tiny garden fences, and that's her idea. She wants me to keep going with them. So I told her I'd finish them up and put them in the ground for her, and I would get them for her in the ground correctly. So our next plants, and they're individually planted, is our lovely Georgia collards. Yes, sir. They're going to be delicious when they reach full harvest mode, I say. So hey, you guys, thanks. I just want to say thank you again. Thank you, really. It means a lot to me. My YouTube channel is not as advanced as a lot of other people with all the fancy editing and things like that. Sometimes I do a little editing and put some music in there and stuff, but a lot of the things I do, I just bring you along as it happens. So I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all stay tuned. Outdoors with Tim. All right, guys, it didn't take long. We got the collards planted. You can see them out there next to the yellow crookneck squash. They're in the good soil. So I think I'm going to stop right here for right now until it cools down a little bit more. But I am going to go ahead and get the sprinkler on what I've got planted. You know, because when you move plants from their comfort zone, so to say, when they're young, you stress the root system. And I'm a firm believer in, if you can make your plants feel comfortable and happy again, they'll start to perk back up. Because if I just plant them and come back out a half hour later, they'll be wilted, they'll be laid over, and we don't want that. So we definitely want to make them feel happy again. So let's do that. But anyway, guys, this is part 2 of the backyard vegetable garden. I appreciate each and every one of you checking me out, watching my channel, and following me along on this backyard garden. Y'all stay tuned for more backyard garden in the future. And remember to give me a like, a big old thumbs up. Come on, guys, big thumbs up. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share it. And God be with you all.